Hi, it's Sabrina Ben Salmi here. I just thought I'd jump on live real quick. See, I wanted to talk to families about the treasure that they've got inside their house. And I'm not just talking about any treasure, I'm actually talking about yourself and your family members. You see, sometimes we underestimate what we have right on our doorstep when we look so far afield. And one of the things that I really am passionate about is that activating parents to realize the actual treasures that they have in each one of their children. See, when I was growing up, I remember that, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I remember that children were meant to be seen and not heard. And that really inspired me to integrate my children into their parenting journey. I think when we parent children, it's so important to bring them into the equation, ask them questions. Okay, so what I really want you to tap into is that just take a moment to reflect who's in your house, the different family members. What are the things that they tend to go on about over and over and over again? What are the sacred gifts that they seem to harness very naturally, but you've kind of not really taken it serious? Because I'm a true believer that we are each a piece to the puzzle. So what if the people in your home are a piece to your bigger puzzle and I'm having a call come in, sorry. So how can you integrate them into the picture? How can you make them a very active and core part to that picture? Because, often my children and I, we have conversations about our generational wealth. Now, I can't create that by myself, and why should you have to? You see, if you activate as a family, as a united unit, you can start living the legacy and not only thinking about leaving the legacy. And I really want you to take a moment to ponder on that. How am I positioning myself and my family so we can each of us be a cog to the wheel, so to speak? And I really, it's just a very quick live. There's some things that we've got planned in the background, so we'll be doing some more lives and more videos. But I really just want to seed that idea with you. You may have young children, you may have older children. If your children are awesome at social media and you can't quite peel them away, how can you apply that to your business? See, some of us are trying to learn social media skills, but our teenagers might already harness that power. But how can you start identifying your individual key skills that you can start integrating into the family dynamics? How can each one of you start sowing in and pouring in to that big vision, that future vision? You see, sometimes we think about income, and that might be just through a business or through a career, but why not think about planting the seed for family generational wealth? Why don't you just start taking thought beyond what thought once was? Sometimes we think about a monthly income or an annual income. Why are we not thinking about generational wealth? Like, what can you create today, or at least plant the seed that can be generational wealth that goes on to secure your family for centuries to come? Because see, here's the thing. We have meetings with our business, with our banking managers, and we sometimes think about saving. But why don't you have a meeting with an estate manager? Really talking about, how can we set up a trust fund for our family that, perhaps protects your family for generations, and even when they get married. Because here's the thing, when people come into our lives, things change. So how can you start securing things for your family to ensure that they're taken care of, but also putting into it? Because I think it can be quite damaging if you make a child believe that they don't have to do nothing. So if you kind of have them all start tapping into this family vision, it can be quite fun. And this is something that we're doing as a family. So some of you will know that I'm a mother of 5. So my eldest is 18. And she's very creative, very artistic. She likes structure without any confinement. She likes to feel free, and just, she's very explorative at her core. But Lachey has a way of really teaching us as a family how to do things we haven't really thought about. And then the second one I have is 14-year-old Trey Sean. He's really into academics and, numbers and sports. And he teaches us different things in his own unique way. So they all go out into their own little pockets. My third one is Yasmin. And she's all about love and connection and just really about how we can reconnect to nature. She absolutely loves animals and babies. So she teaches us how to center ourselves, how to be more present. And then we have Paolo. Now, anyone who knows Paolo knows that Paolo's the adventurous one, the very outspoken one. He's always the one that causes us to ask why. Why more? Why this? Why now? But how can we apply those questions to all aspects of our lives? You see, sometimes we forget how important it is to ask ourselves quality questions. We forget that just by asking ourselves questions throughout the day, it can really navigate us into different areas that we never thought we can explore. And then we have Amir. So Amir is the youngest, he's 5. And he's just hilarious because obviously he gets poured into by the other 4 siblings. But he teaches us how to... He's really about structure, actually, funny enough, because he's always the one that reminds us of family rules. He reminds us what our promises are. He's always the one that said, but you said, and it's 5 minutes to, and it needs to happen. So, just reflect on your own family dynamics. Each and every one of us has different family dynamics. And they can all remind you of different aspects of self, of life, if you allow them to. You see, your children that are in your house, they're not just children. They're young adults. And they have so much to give if only you just listen. They have so much to reveal to you if only you just tap into their world. Maybe not trying to navigate. I had a really good conversation with a parent and they was really transparent and I really thanked them for it. But a lot of the things that we tend to do as parents is through fear. We try to protect their future by saying, do this just so, you'll be safe and secure. But what we have to also realize is that life has changed. Life has changed so much. Things are not the way it used to be. So in essence, sometimes what our children are telling us to do is very different to what we were taught to do and what will work. So children nowadays are being hired through WhatsApp. There's so many different things that are going on. My daughter was offered a scholarship at university because of the stuff that she's been doing through her own life journey. And, this is not what I'm used to. So it's a big learning curve. So what you got to understand is that if you allow your children just to tap into their natural abilities to create, to, sometimes, I don't know, how can I say? I remember being, Trey Sean being in primary school and there was this whole encouragement that he's very shy, he's a natural introvert, but because he was a boy, they said he has to be more outspoken, has to be more streetwise. And I said, why? It's not my son's character. They said I should toughen him up a bit. Well, I said, I'm not preparing him for the streets. He doesn't need to be streetwise. So sometimes we've got to be mindful of what the whispers are and somewhat dial them out. Obviously, if it's feedback that's really important, that's going to benefit our children, take it on board. But when you know your children's energy, when you know what their natural gifts are, and you just say, trust the process, surrender to the process, but also just position them so they're able to activate who they really are, practice who they really are, and the opportunities just come in through there. Like, honestly, some of the things that the children and I have experienced have often not been planned. It's just been through the essence of connecting with our intentions, coming from our core, and just being playful. You see, I really love the saying that I am a speaker and the world is my stage. And what that means, to me anyway, is that we all have a message to share. And instead of looking out there at the speakers and say, I want to be on stage. And don't get me wrong, that's purposeful. But why not let life be your stage? What if you're just walking down the street? What if you're doing school run? What if there's a friend that just needs to have some inspiration? Allow your voice to be heard in different mediums. You see, when we come from that premise and realize that life's our stage, we then get into a state of allowing people to see us exercising our magic. You see, I don't know about you, but I remember being a child. I remember daytime turning into night very seamlessly. I was just unaware until my mum called me like, Sabrina, you got to come home now. I was like, oh, it's only early, mum, but it was late, well past my bedtime at some point. But if we can get into that state, see, often we go into business looking for what's the next best thing that's going to work for us. And this is exactly why I teach my children as young as possible, because it's not about the next best thing that worked for the Smiths or the Jones family. It's actually, where do my sacred gifts lie and what's in alignment with those sacred gifts? What are the things that I do effortlessly that can add value? Because remember, when we want to exchange of value and a transaction attached to this, we look for people that are brilliant at what they do. See, I wouldn't go to a doctor that said, well, I'm a gardener in the daytime, but I operate on hearts at night. You're kind of thinking, like, no. So why are we doing the same thing as our children? Why are we positioning our children in that same respect? So it's that I'm a doctor. I've dreamed of being a doctor since I was 7 years old, and I worked hard to get there. So you have that faith that that person has the passion behind what they're doing. And this is why it's so crucial to start as young as possible. It's not about all the fame and glory, and it's definitely not about work. So getting your children activated as young as possible to coach, to learn various mediums, to write books, it's all about teaching them to exercise their muscles. They say it takes 10,000 hours to master your technique. Why not get your children started as young as possible? As soon as they can speak, as soon as they show interest. You know, they might not even be able to speak. You may find that your children have a natural gift for music. They may sing all day. They may be banging on pots and pans, and they might just be very explorative. They could be very courageous. So start identifying what are the key factors, key components or the key traits that my children are displaying now, and get coaches surrounded by coaches, immerse them in different environments. So we're putting together some materials because we really, really want to work with a lot of children. Hi guys, sorry, I'm kind of trying to focus on making sure I look at the camera properly so I can connect with you guys, but I will make sure that I actually respond to comments. See, for me, family is it's so sacred to me, I can hardly put it into words. And I really feel passionate about just working with as many families as possible so then they can understand that it's the playfulness. There was no business plan around what the children are doing, and there shouldn't be. Unless, obviously as a family, I wouldn't like to get into that if that's what you choose to do, but I find that when you just allow the natural nature and organic process of your child to develop, let them be children. Don't bog them down by having to complete tasks and having to do or have something. That will come naturally as they start to meet people, as they start to formulate, as they start to connect and fine tune to what they're really doing. Everything you see the kids doing has come from a place of play. Often people ask, what do we do at home and how do we spend our days? It depends. We have plans, we have things in the diary, but most of it is play. Get them surrounded by some key people. We can help you to understand what that means. We can help you to find out, what different energy types. And more importantly, remember, our children are somewhat biochemically programmed to go the opposite way to what we say, and don't take it personally. I had to learn that as well. That's why they have so many mentors. But talk to your friends and family, speak to mentors and get them to regurgitate. You'll get this, oh wow, like mom, they just said this, and you look up and go like, really? I've been telling you that for years. But guess what? Play the game. Just play the game. Whatever works, whatever gets them fired up, whatever gets the results that you desire for them, and more importantly, what they desire for themselves, support them, be that. The opportunities will start flooding in. Often we spend so much time on the physical stuff, the doing stuff, the being stuff. Sometimes we have to learn to just be still. Sometimes we have to learn how to hibernate. And more importantly, sometimes we just need to learn to surrender to the process. And on that note, I really bid you a good night. Sending you so much love, and thank you for all of the support. It really means a lot to us. In all honesty, we didn't start this off as a business. You get to be a fly on the wall at our family life. So we had to share this because more and more people was asking us, and this is why I share a lot of what the children are doing. And it's not for the premise of just sharing, it's from the premise to inspire you. It doesn't matter what age your children are, it doesn't matter what they're into. There is something that they can bring to the table. Each of my children are doing things that some are visible and some are invisible, and some of it is really like high-end stuff, but we can't because of contract share. And some of them are impacting the world. Like, how big an impact can you have than saving the planet? So there are so many things that the children are doing, and the best bit is that they're also possible for you and for your family. I really don't believe in sharing things just for the fact of me sitting here and shouting about it. I think it's really important that I can share, and we can share as a family, things that you can also do too. And from this very day, go home and speak to your children. And we get so excited when we meet families again, or we watch families that we've worked with and just see them firing off in their natural creativity. Play with it. Don't give it any timeline. Just play. They are children. Allow them to learn and just watch the magic unfold. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for the support, and I really look forward to speaking to you again. Bye.